Hello and welcome to my video. Today's video is going to be of a soup called I'm Winging It, and this is what I had, and I'm trying to make something my kids will like. Soup. My kids that you can see right here. Hey girls. They're really sick, so they have some crazy hair. So essentially what we're going to be tossing into this soup, Olivia, no, is just stuff I had in my pantry. So we've got the little letters, alphabet soup, letters, jeez. We've got some red onion because I had half of a red onion cut up in the fridge, some celery, 2 small potatoes, 3 carrots, I'd say just like a handful of green beans. I have a can of petite diced tomatoes. I have some beef broth here. And then for seasonings, I'm just going to do Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and paprika. And I think I'm probably this is what it's like having twins, in case you wondered. I think I'm probably also going to add maybe half a cup of frozen corn and half of a cup of frozen peas. So I'm going to get this tossed in the Instant Pot, and I'll be back once I have everything ready before I close it up. This is a super easy recipe, and I'm actually making it up as I go. Alrighty, so everything's here in the pot. I just dumped it in. I ended up just adding half of a cup of corn because I didn't have frozen peas in the freezer. The measurements on our spices were a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and a teaspoon of paprika. And I'm just going to go ahead and get this stirred up. And I know it looks a little bit thick, but these veggies will let off some water as we cook it. And my babies actually prefer to eat soup that is more like chunky and less liquid, and honestly, mommy prefers that as well because they will make hella mess if there's a lot of liquid. So I'm literally just mixing this up nice and quick. As I said, I made this recipe up as we went, and that's what I wanted to mention right now is my personal feeling of how important it is to have a well-stocked pantry, meaning like noodles, beef broths, chicken broths, I can't speak English, broths, chicken stock, canned goods, different frozen veggies in your freezer, have a full spice pantry, grains, things of that nature, so that way when you need to whip up something last minute you can. And the reason I'm making this soup is because my babies are really sick. So anyways, I'll stop babbling. This is mixed up well enough. The twins have disappeared as well, so I'm slightly worried about that. I'm going to go ahead and close the Instant Pot, put the valve to the ceiling direction. And then I think I'm going to set this for a total of 4 minutes because I usually cook chicken noodle soup for 4 minutes, and those noodles are super duper tiny. So we're just going to go on soup broth, and I actually have it set already for 4 minutes, and I'm just going to let it go. So once this comes to pressure, it'll cook for 4 minutes, and then I think I'm going to do a natural release, and then I'm going to serve it with some grilled cheese on the side. So I'll be back when this is ready to open up so you can see the finished product. I wanted to pop back on for like 2 seconds to share with you my uber top secret best grilled cheese in the world secret that actually was shared with me like a lot of years ago by my friend Joni. So Joni S, you know who you are if you're watching this video. I still make my grilled cheeses like this. So basically, instead of using butter on the outside, you're going to use mayonnaise. And it sounds weird, but there's egg inside of there. So you are going to get the most beautiful, crispy crust on the outside of that bread. And you don't have to deal with the fact that the butter is not softened because, let's face it, 90% of the time, even if the butter is softened, the bread is cold, and then it's hard to spread and you get like ripped up grilled cheese. So you're just going to spread your mayonnaise on the outside of the bread nice and thin, and then I pop them together, mayo sides down while I layer up the cheese, and then I'll get the griddle heated up and then obviously flip them correctly. So we're still waiting for this to come to pressure, and yeah, I'll be back. Alrighty, so this is our finished product. If it would focus, that would be great. There we go. So as I mentioned, I don't make this soup or soups for the babies very thick because it's too messy. So this is my vegetable alphabet soup in the Instant Pot with grilled cheese. And I just burned my hand. And the final product of these grilled cheeses, as you can see, they're like super evenly crisped up. And it's a nice trick to not have to worry about your butter being thawed. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this served up, and I hope you liked my super fast video on the fly.